What is up, everybody? It's Sunday. It is Sunday. Just to let everyone know the Big Brother schedule today. The episode of Big Brother that has been airing at 9 Eastern time on Sundays is now going to be 10:30 Eastern, I assume because of the football. Big Brother, if you are watching this video, there is a simple solution to having these changing times. Let's make Big Brother start at the beginning of July again. Because when you start Big Brother at the beginning of July, then it's over basically by the time the football season starts. So you don't have to be sliding it here and there, changing the times, because we used to not overlap those things. So yeah, that's thing number one. The Sunday times are all over the place. And then now I think we're not having a Wednesday episode this week. And then it's going to be a 2-hour Thursday episode, which, by the way, Thursday episode last week should have been a 2-hour episode because we had a double eviction. We love that stuff. We love getting to see, show us some jury house, show us more of what's happening in those conversations, in the double eviction, show us more of the scrambling, all that stuff. Anyways, my rant is kind of over. Hi, Marshall. So I don't think that I made a live yesterday after the veto competition, but the veto competition was BB Comics. And so many people were saying, oh, wait until BB Comics. That is the time that Cam is going to shine. He's just waiting for that because he's athletic and he has a good memory. So I was like, all right, let's see what Cam's going to do here. Apparently, Cam finished with one of the worst times out of all of the people that were remaining. Took over 30 minutes to do it. And when Chelsie asked him about that, he told Chelsie that he took multiple breaks. Now, some people are claiming that he is trying and that he's just not good at the comps. I don't buy that. I do not buy that. Few reasons. At the beginning, if you want to go back on YouTube and check out his interviews, his pregame interviews before he got on the show, one thing that he clearly said is his strategy is to downplay his threat level and make sure that everybody likes him. He's going to use his personality. Because if you know anything about Big Brother, big athletic guys, they're always like, oh, this person is a threat. So I feel like at the beginning of the game, he intentionally was throwing everything. I feel like at a certain point, there were some competitions that he wanted to win that he just lost. I'm not saying that 100% of every one of them he wasn't trying, but I want to say I think he has tried 25% of the time. That's what I think. Hey, we got a special appearance from Ed here. What's up, Ed? Hope everything is going good. Yeah, I think that he's tried about 25% of the time, and he has not succeeded in that 25%. But I mostly think that he has not tried in these comps. And I think that at the start, it was strategy to downplay himself early on. And then I think as time went on, he has felt so comfortable with his alliance because MJ, he has leaned into that, MJ and Chelsie, and they've been winning a lot of comps, especially they've been turning it on towards the second half of the competition. and they've been protecting him and keeping him safe. So I feel like a part of his lackadaisical attitude and his lackadaisical amount of effort is due to the fact that the people who are the strongest in the house are protecting him. So what else was I going to say? Chelsie. So Chelsie is talking to MJ. Hi, Cass. He showed out versus Tucker. You mean in the veto comp that he won? Gotta be, because that's the only thing he's won so far. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, downplaying his threat level. So Chelsie decides. Chelsie goes and she speaks to MJ, and we see this conversation of Chelsie and MJ talking to each other. And Chelsie is heavily involved in this conversation, by the way. She's not just listening to what MJ's saying. She's a strong contributor to this conversation. And I actually don't know which was the person who said it first, because that's the thing about not having the timestamps. So I don't know who started the discussion, but I saw a heavy discussion between Chelsie and MJ where they were both saying they're questioning Cam's abilities and they think that Cam is throwing the comps, and they both think that they've been protecting Cam this whole time and he doesn't deserve to be there. It's not the first time I heard Chelsie say that either, because Chelsie said that the day before the veto comp. They were having this exact same conversation, and then the conversation got furthered with his performance in BB Comics. So in that conversation, they were like, you know what? I think that Cam is starting to form something with Rabina, and they both feel like maybe we should get Cam out, because MJ wins the power of veto and Chelsie comes in second. So Chelsie was telling MJ, we have the power to decide whether Cam stays or goes. And they do. Because let's say they take off Chemo off the block, or they take off Rabina off the block. The one that is off the block is gonna vote for the other one to stay, and it doesn't matter where actually, yeah, because then Chelsie could vote the opposite way. Like Chelsie could vote what am I saying? Not the opposite way. They could 2-0 it, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That's where I was going with that. Because Chelsie would be the other vote. So the other person between Chemo and Rabina, they both want to keep each other, obviously. So it wouldn't even have to be a thing where they have to worry in that regard. And then if Chelsie, kind of knowing how Chelsie plays, I could actually see her being like, oh no, I'm going to split the vote and I'm going to vote to keep Cam. And then I could see her spinning it, like telling MJ like, oh, I just want to make a sympathy vote for him. But really she's putting it on MJ, because I just see her kind of being that type of player. Peace and love, Chocolate. How are you doing? So anyways, after this conversation that Chelsie and MJ had, Chelsie had a couple of extra conversations. Chelsie had a conversation with Cam, giving him a heads up. And I'm putting heads up with the bunny ears because she spun it to MJ as if, she spun it to Cam as if MJ was the one who presented to her, like, hey, I'm thinking of putting Cam up. Whereas it was a mutual conversation between the two of them. So now Cam is alerted to the fact that he might go up. And then Chelsie also talked to Chemo and Rabina and told them that MJ is thinking about putting Cam up. So it's hard for me to figure out where Chelsea's mind is at exactly. I just always want to know the thought process. And I'm not sure with this one. I'm not sure if she's trying to paint a target on MJ's back or if she's trying to, I don't know, look like the person that everybody can trust because she's providing the information. I'm not even really sure why she would tell Chemo and Rabina that. I could see reasons for her telling Cam that. I don't necessarily understand her reasons for telling Rabina and Chemo. Like, is she trying to get information out of them? I don't know. Shout out to my dogs at the crib. You know what? I have been missing. I need to have that as a soundbite. I don't know why I don't have that as a soundbite, but I am definitely about to make that a soundbite when I get off this live. Because I've had a soundbite all season that I've not been using. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't like the move. I really don't know why Chelsie did that, to be honest with you. I don't like the move. I don't know why you would alert him. And it's not just that she alerted him, it's that she pinned it on MJ. So I'm sitting here saying to myself, do you think it's no possibility that MJ and Cam could have a private conversation and then MJ is like, it didn't go down that way? And then it's like, even if he believes Chelsie over MJ, it's potentially giving MJ a reason to feel upset with Chelsie if that comes out. And then you said the same thing to the other two people in the house. I just don't know. I don't know why she did that. Yeah, prior to that, I was like, okay, she's in the perfect spot. I don't know if she overanalyzed, but this is an unnecessary move. I could see the move if she was in a jam or something and she was trying to make MJ look bad. Like if she was not in the position that she's in right now and somebody had thrown some dirt on her name and she was trying to get herself out of a corner. But this is a time when she was sitting pretty. She didn't have to do anything much more. Like her girl, she worked on MJ this whole time and she's been working MJ this whole time. She's sitting in a safe spot because MJ wins the power of veto. It's too risky for no reason. And the second thing is they haven't even had the power of veto ceremony yet. So, man, I would have just kept my mouth shut on that part of it. And even if it does work out in her favor, sometimes when people make bad gameplay moves and then it works out in the favor, the fandom is like, oh, they're a mastermind. We couldn't see the full game plan. No, I think this one was just, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. And I like Chelsie, but I still feel like she didn't have to reveal those cards. And then the thing is, MJ and Chelsie are good in the comps. Cam is not good in the comps. So it's a potential that I think that she can play next week, can't she? Somebody was saying in the final four, everyone gets to play in the HOH comp. Is that correct? Because I think that's the case, right? So there's a chance of MJ winning again. And MJ says that she's trying to be Janelle. So in my opinion, I wouldn't want to do something that could potentially ruffle MJ's feathers. Because despite the fact that Chelsie is the better all around game player than MJ, MJ is a comp beast. We can officially say that MJ is a comp beast, and comp beasts do have that power to control how things go in the late stages of the game. So those are my thoughts on that. There was something else that I was gonna say. Slipped my mind. But yeah, and I feel like MJ is so invested in her. So I think that all the people she told, well, not all of them, but I think that Chemo and Rabina would for sure use that information against Chelsie. Like I feel like they would go right over to MJ, and I would, if I was them, I would go right to MJ and be like, MJ, I need to speak to you. So I'd be like, Chelsie came to us and said that you were planning to make Cam the renom and take one of us down. Is this true? Is there any truth to this? You know, like I would be thinking of how I could use that information against her. I don't know if these people are going to do it, but it's sloppy gameplay. In my estimation, I feel like it is sloppy gameplay. So I want to know what all of you think. Can you see a vision of why Chelsie did this? Do you think that it was a good move? Do you think that it was a bad move? What do you think of these final four combinations? I feel like Chelsie should be fine with running into this final four or final three, or trying to get to a final three with Cam and MJ. That's my opinion on that. So the tough part is in a final three, MJ and Chelsie could have all the discussions they want about they want someone deserving and they're the only two who are deserving. They could be saying all of that, but it would be in both of their best interests to take Cam. Despite what they're saying about, oh, Cam's social game is A1. I remember in was it season 24? Yes, it had to be season 24. I remember Alyssa Snyder, season 24. And everybody was like, oh, her social game is impeccable. She doesn't go on the block. Nobody is really targeting her. We got to get rid of her at the end because she's going to win in the end. And I felt the same thing then that I feel about Cam. I'm like, that's not a big enough reason to win the game. Otherwise, Matt would have won the game last year. Not being anyone's target and being good with everyone, I have not really seen as anyone's reason for actually winning in any of the seasons that I've seen. So my thing is, you put yourself in a tough predicament if Cam is not in the house. Because not just because of comp wins, but because of votes and voting numbers, and then also chances to win the next comp, right? So if it's Chemo and Rabina and MJ and Chelsie, despite the fact that historically Chemo and Rabina have not been good at comps, anyone can pull out a win at any time. So if one of them pulls out a win, you two are going on the block together, no questions asked. And one of you is out for sure. And I don't know who they would pick, but I think they'd probably pick Chelsie to leave at that point. And then there's a sole vote to evict. So even if you win, well, I guess one person could put up Rabina and Chemo, but then if there is a veto win by one of them and they come off and there's a renom, the other one goes on the block and then the other one goes home. So having Cam in there makes sense. And then they're like, we don't want him to get to the end and win after having not done anything. I know that he could potentially take a second place away from somebody, but he's not beating anyone unless he sits next to a Rubina or a Chemo. And I think the likelihood of that happening is small. You would be surprised if who survives Chocolate. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. Once again, the episode tonight is 9:30 Eastern. What am I saying? 10:30 Eastern. So that means that the episode is not going to finish until 11:30. Now, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to jump on here after that, but I might. We'll see. But it's also possible that I'll jump on here sometime before the episode again once we have more conversations today and I see how everything plays out, because I'm very curious to see how the conversations go today, especially now that Cam is alerted to the fact that he could go on the block. I want to see if we see any urgency out of him, if we see him playing the game and trying to figure out a way not to get on the block instead of doing what he did yesterday and just telling Chelsie, well, then let her put me up then. Who cares? So thanks for joining me. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content, and I'll talk to you all soon.